Hello, Facebook. There's Cow and Bear. Sometimes people will say, I don't ever see your other son. Like, is he ever around or what's going on? Okay, so I wanted to share something that I thought was extremely, I guess I would say it's important, because I think that sometimes people just get this tunnel vision. And I am studying to become an NLP practitioner, a hypnotherapist, a life success coach, and also a time techniques practitioner as well. That's what I'm studying for. I leave next week, and I'll be gone for 8 days. Intense studying that I'm doing right now. Really, really, really excited about this. Some people may not know what an NLP therapist is or practitioner is, but it has everything to do with your inner communication as well as the outer communication with others, and all of these other things that are encompassing in this course that I'm taking. They all kind of tie in together, and it all has a lot to do with your subconscious and your beliefs and your limiting beliefs and all of these things. Now, I have done an extensive amount of personal development with regard to my thoughts and thinking. A lot of my actions and behaviors created outcomes. And that's how we live every day, right? Certain behaviors and actions that we do, we get these certain outcomes. Sometimes the outcome is desirable. Sometimes the outcome is not. And if we get to a place in our life where we are reflecting and we see that, okay, this is not the desired outcome that I choose to have. And that is where all of the work comes in. And you have to start to really think of, even with my clients, I say, a lot of what goes on in your outward appearance has everything to do with what is going on within your inner thoughts, thinking, your belief system, and all of that. So I have evolved as a coach and realized that when I created my online coaching program, which was back in 2017, about a year and a half ago, that I realized that not only do people need, obviously, education in the nutrition and all of that, and I have a huge passion for that. I understand it. I get it. However, I have started to realize that, okay, people need more than just guidance in their nutrition. And so that's where my coaching really turned into a lot more of lifestyle, life coaching, the thoughts and thinking. And I thought, okay, well, I need to really, really get into this. Oh, and one more thing that this course is going to teach me is tapping. It all kind of started with the tapping. I was looking for a course just on tapping. And then I had come across, through a group that I'm in and a couple of my prior business coach and other people that I trust immensely, I had learned they had taken this particular course that I am actually taking. And once I saw that they had taken the course, you know how you get that, you're just sold because you trust that person. So that's what I'm studying for. So I've kind of talked a little bit about it, like I'm studying, I'm doing this, I'm taking a break from my studying, this and that. Haven't really put it out there because not many people understand what it is. So anyway, I wanted to talk about something that I had learned this morning in one of the audios that I'm listening to. And it was so true. When I heard this, I thought people need to stop for just a moment sometimes and shift your perspective. Now, they in the NLP world call it reframing. And all it is, Blake, can you open the gate for her? They both boys left. They closed the gate. I'm in here. She can't get in here, so now she's whining. Can you open the gate so she can come in the kitchen? Okay. So they call it reframing. So in other words, it's just, in my world, current world, I just call it, you just have to shift your perspective. And so I found that it was really, really a powerful visual story that he had described. And he had talked about, sometimes we just have to open up our perspective, because the way that our thoughts and thinking has everything to do about our personal model of the world. So the way that I view and experience things is different than the way that you view and experience things, because we have these different models of the world. She's behind me doing her crash 'em up derby with her. She cracks me up. She does these laps. It's funny. Okay, so this I thought was super powerful. Okay, so we talked about how we can view certain things, but if we just open up our perspective and if we look at it in a different light, or we look at it in a different reframe, that's not exactly what is going on. It's just that sudden, oh, that's what's happening in our mind, okay? So picture this. You see this man, and you see in one frame that he's running. The next frame, you see him pushing this elderly woman to the ground. So what do we think? We automatically think, oh, he's a thug. He's probably robbed something and she got in his way, and so he pushed her out of the way. However, then the next frame was a broader perspective of what actually happened, which was, you see this boulder of concrete coming down from a building that is falling over. He pushes her out of the way, and he is now a hero. So do you see how when you see it in one narrow-minded, I guess you would say, perspective, but then when you open up your model of the world, when you try to put, let's say, and this also is another way of looking at it, kind of like you hear people say, well, try to put yourself in their shoes. Okay, so I guess it's another way of looking at it, right? So when you open up your model of the world and you see a broader perspective and you reframe it, you actually are kind of seeing what is actually going on versus what your assumptions are in your mind. Does that make sense? I mean, I heard that and I was like, God, that is so true. We all have this assumption. We always have these assumptions going on. Oh, that's what they're doing. Oh, and I think a lot of that goes on in social media too. Like, I was thinking about that as well, that, sometimes people use social media as a way of venting. Sometimes they use it for validation. Sometimes they use it for, everybody uses it in however they decide. Maybe they want to just show their highlight reels of their life, whatever it is. So instead of having a mindset of, judgment, I guess you would say, maybe open up your view of the world and think of things in a different perspective of, okay, and lead. I guess what I'm saying is maybe kind of lead with love a little bit, because we don't know what is going on in their world, in their perspective of the world, right? And so it's so, how do I word it? I just felt so like, oh, that's so good. That is so good, because we have to consider other people's map of the world and vision of the world and how they are experiencing the world. We have to always remember that how we experience things is not how somebody else is experiencing things. And I know that I keep repeating this, but it is so important for us to not put these assumptions and expectations, I guess, is really what it's all about. Okay, so I thought that was really cool. The other reframe would be this, and I find myself, I was like, yay, I kind of already do this with my clients. This is great. I already have I'm already doing a little bit of this. Let's say you have, here's another example. So let's say you are at work, and can you believe, I just have to note that I am wearing a scarf and a sweater in my house, and my house is set at 72. Like, that's just mind blowing to me how it's kind of still chilly, and I have a runny nose. So let's say you have a boss that's a Becker, okay? I have experienced them. They are annoying, and it just makes your skin crawl when you feel like I've got somebody that is constantly checking on me and hovering over my shoulder. And what it does is I call it the thorn. You know, I got that thorny, analogy from the book called what was that called? Michael Singer's book, The Untethered Soul. It's a great book, by the way. And he talks about thorns, that we sometimes have these thorns that get rubbed the wrong way, and so if you have a boss that's a bed checker, if you have a boss that you feel like is hovering over your shoulder, this is a really great way for you to perhaps get a better perspective of it and feel better about it. And so, because the last thing that we need is more added stress, right? And so when you have that situation at work, kind of shift your perspective of, instead of thinking, he's just trying to find something that I'm doing wrong, he's just got it out for me, there's something that he's going to point out that's going to get me in trouble. There's all these negative things that kind of go through your mind. So instead of having that negative perspective, open up your perspective, reframe it, okay? Reframe and think to yourself, okay, in other words, it's like, what's a positive way of dealing with this? What's a positive perspective on this? And so you could kind of look at it like, okay, well, maybe he has a difficult time with trying to understand exactly what it is that I'm doing. Or maybe this project that I'm working on, he would really like to have a better perspective on it and needs some more information on it, and maybe I need to set up a meeting with him. You see? Or maybe he is just really checking in on me on this project so intently because he wants to see me succeed. He wants for this to be a success. Do you see what I mean? So it's really all about reframing things at times in order to and shifting that perspective so that you have a better outlook overall. So all of this, they're just strategies. It's all strategies in the way that you think and feel and deal with things. So we basically have chains and processes in the way that we communicate with others and the way that our mind automatically thinks and operates. So I'm really, really, really excited to be able to relay this to you in a better manner. She's got birthday candles. However, we have these chains that we, when something happens, it automatically, we go through these different little thought processes that are automatically that are connected together because of our belief and experiences in the world. So it's really, really very cool. And I just wanted to share that with you because maybe you're in a position of where you just need to reframe something and you just need a new perspective and you just need to, have that type of, maybe just attach, like think of that guy with the building. Or think of, the situation with the boss and whatnot. So here's another one that I want to share with you, and then I'll wrap it up. But I thought this was really cool. So there was a story of a wife who was very neurotic. It was driving the family crazy because every time somebody walked on the carpet and there was a footprint left on the carpet, she would have this feeling that she needed to vacuum. Like when I was growing up, and I still like this, my dad had taught us to vacuum where you have lines, and then you go behind the lines, and then you have lines and lines and lines in your carpet. And that's kind of what I visualized. So every time somebody walked on her carpet, she went crazy and would have to get the vacuum out. Well, it was disrupting the family, as you can imagine. So she ended up seeing a couple of different therapists that didn't work, and then she saw an NLP practitioner. And so after seeing an NLP practitioner, they had worked on there's some things that you can do, which is really fascinating. There's some things that you can do to change, and there's anchoring, and there's all this really cool stuff, which I cannot wait to share with you, and I cannot wait to work on with my clients and myself. But what ended up happening is she put this in a different perspective for her, and then everything changed. So she said to her, what does the, picture the carpet with no footprints in it. And to her, that felt just really good. You know, it felt like, oh, I think that's amazing. Like, oh, I just love the way it looks. And then she said, well, when you have it like that, when your carpet looks like that, guess what? There's nobody around. Nobody is there. It's just you. And so immediately her whole demeanor, her whole expression, everything shifted, because she realized that this behavior was very, you know, was causing such disrupt, and it was a very lonely action to continue to do. If she continues to do it, then guess what? It's going to create all this separation within her family and all of that. So it's basically, you know, having that shift in perspective in just like a form of context, you know, just basically sharing with her that if you want to continue this behavior, then you better be okay with being alone. Interesting, isn't it? So I hope that that made some sense to you. I hope that that resonated with you. I hope that you got some value from it. I hope that, you know, like this is relatable. I know for me, you know, a lot of, oh, sweetheart. She doesn't know she wants up or down. Anyway, so I have a lot more studying to do. Wanted to share this insight with you. The exciting thing is I'm literally just like a tiny bit in, and I've got a lot to get done before I leave on Monday. Class starts on Tuesday. It's from 10 in the morning until 8 at night. And then every single day after that, it's from 1 o'clock to 8 o'clock. So thank you to my sister who's letting me stay with her, which is going to be a nice relief where I won't be staying at a hotel and all of that. But and I can tell it's already going to be really intense, and it's super exciting. So I'll keep you posted as I keep continuing to have these ahas and these things that I'm learning. I mean, there's so much that I have learned even so far that it's just like so hard for me to articulate. Like I went to see Dr. Bretz yesterday, and this is an example of how he is so helpful to me. And it's not just about getting adjusted. It's not just about, you know, what I'm eating and things like that, but he knows how intensive this studying and this type of work is. And so he helped with a protocol with me to make sure that my sleep is better, because I have been so overstimulated with listening and writing and doing that it's been difficult for me to sleep. So, you know, we've got certain supplements and a regimen in alignment so that I can absorb this information at the best of my ability. And also while I'm there, you know, because I'm going to be dealing with different circumstances, you know, sleeping in a different place, you know, like everything is just going to be different. So, you know, working with somebody like a chiropractor that does what Dr. Don does is imperative to my success. Because like yesterday, I was on complete overload, overwhelmed, exhausted type of feeling. And then seeing Dr. Bretz, he was able to kind of pull me out of it, gave me the proper supplements. I mean, even to the point where it wasn't like I was in horrible shape. It was just kind of like, okay, I've hit a brick wall. I need to get opened up here. And it was to the point where before I even walked out the door, his wife, Liz, which is a very dear friend of mine as well, was like, we need to get this in you right now, which was very cool. So anyway, if you're just hopping on, you may want to rewatch this. I think you will get some value in it. I think that this is applicable to anybody, even my teenagers. You know what I'm saying? Like Colin, I think can get a lot of value even to hear this type of thing, because I know that we all are put in circumstances every moment of every day. And I think that always having that broader perspective on things is always going to be your best tool in life. So thanks for tuning in, and have a wonderful day. Stay warm. I know that our kiddos have another snow day tomorrow. To be honest with you, it's actually been kind of working in my favor, because I haven't had that disruption with having to, you know, get them off to school, get them ready, you know, all that stuff. And they've been a really good help with Ayana. So, okay, I gotta roll. I told myself that I would give myself until like 12:30, and then I would have to, you know, start working. So 12:30 is when I started working. I'm going to knock this out between 12:30 and 1, and now I got to get to studying. So have a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.